Hi, my name's Eliseo Rivera, and I'm a real estate agent from Brooklyn, New York. Today, I'm excited to share with you the inside scoop on how I aced the New York State Real Estate Salesperson exam. But before I reveal my secret weapon, let me stress the importance of staying up to date on the latest laws and regulations in the real estate industry. Keeping current with the latest information is crucial for your success as a real estate professional, and that's where the real estate exam comes in. It's a test that ensures that all agents are well versed in the current laws and regulations. And now, without further ado, let me introduce you to my secret weapon. A study sheet that's been passed down to me from another agent. She's a wise old owl in my book. It's helped me and many others pass the test. Think of this study sheet as a GPS for passing the real estate exam. I personally used it to navigate the test, and now I'm just paying it forward. Want a free copy of the entire cheat sheet with over 200 questions and answers in English or Spanish? Drop me a comment or contact me and I'll send it to you as a PDF. My goal is to continue creating effective real-world educational videos in both English and Spanish and to help promote this fantastic industry of ours. Also, before we move on, if you haven't yet decided what brokerage you'd like to begin your career with, or if you're already an agent who just wants to explore the possibility of leveling up your business with the best real estate brokerage on the planet, contact me. My partners and I are dedicated to creating real estate leaders. We're dedicated to continue disrupting the industry, and we're dedicated to your success. We're always looking for the next real estate rock star, the next disruptor, the next person who wants to level up the real estate industry. Will that be you? Contact me and let's find out. So shall we begin? I'll be going through the top 150 questions and answers straight from the study sheet, so be sure to pay close attention and take notes. Okay, so now for the part you've all been waiting for. To best get through this the quickest and most efficient way possible, I'm going to just read out the question and the actual answer, okay? But I'm going to display the other options on screen. So you should be screenshotting this, right? And as I display them, you screenshot it. You can, walk with it, read it, do whatever you're going to do with it. Also, don't forget, you could just comment, reach out to me, and I'll send you the whole PDF with all these questions and more. Free of charge. I'll just email it to you, nothing to it. So let's get right to it now. Good luck, guys. Question number 1. What agency issues real estate licenses? The answer is A, the NYSDOS Division of Licenses. Question 2. At what age can you become a real estate salesperson? The answer is B, 18 years old. Do you need experience in the field to become a salesperson? B, no. What is the minimum age to become a real estate broker? The answer is B, 20. Do you need experience in the field to become a broker? The answer is B, yes, 2 years. 6. If your license is revoked, how long do you have to wait to reapply for it? The answer is C, 1 year. 7. As a licensed real estate salesperson, I can receive compensation from, the answer is B, my sponsoring broker. 8. As a real estate license, you will more often than not BN blank, will receive a blank from your broker and will file a blank on your tax return detailing your earnings versus your expenses. The answer is A, independent contractor, 1099, Schedule C. Question number 9. Attorneys admitted to the bar in New York State are blank from the licensure law, unless they take on salespeople. The answer is D, exempt. 10. If you mix your client's money with the office's operating funds, it's called blank, and you have violated which of the fiduciary options? The answer is A, commingling accountability. 11. For how long does a broker need to keep all of his or her paperwork and records? The answer is D, 3 years. 12. If my license has expired, for how long can I continue to practice real estate sales? In other words, what is the grace period?
The answer is D. There is no grace period. None. 13. Your real estate license with the pocket card will be sent to your sponsoring broker. Who holds the license? Who holds the pocket card? The answer is B. Your broker. 14. As a real estate salesperson, you have to take a continuing education CE every blank. The answer is A. 2 years. 15. How many hours of CE are required? The answer is 22.5. 16. There is also a 3-hour CE component of blank required every 2 years. The answer is B. Fair housing. 17. Are real estate brokers also required to fulfill the CE requirements? The answer is C. Yes. 18. If a person decides not to provide the purchaser with the property condition disclosures form, how much of a reduction in price does he have to give? The answer is B. 500. 19. If you are truly an independent contractor, what is it that your broker can provide for you? The answer is B. A telephone. Not B. A telephone, it's B. A telephone. 20. As an independent contractor, are you paid for the number of hours you put into a deal or for your production? The answer is B. Production. 21. What is the term of real estate licensure? C. 2 years. I know I'm pronouncing that word wrong, but whatever. 22. I want to make an application to become a mortgage broker. I can use my experience as a real estate license on my application to the NYS Department of Banking. How many years of experience do I need? You can read that one yourself again, but the answer is B. 2 years. 23. Violation of law is a C. Misdemeanor. Number 24. Referring to the question just above, what is the possible penalty? The answer is A. A fine of up to $1,000 and or prison for a year.
25. What is the very first document you should fill out with a new client or customer? D. Agency disclosure. 26. At what moment should you take out the agency disclosure form? A. First substantive contact. 27. Regarding the question above, define what it means. B. When the client asks about the property. 28. What should you do if that client or customer refuses to sign the agency disclosure form? A. Fill out an affidavit or declaration stating the terms of the refusal to sign, then sign the affidavit and have the signature notarized. 29. As a real estate salesperson, I am practicing blank agency. D. Special. 30. As a property manager, I am practicing blank agency. C. General. 31. In estate planning, I am practicing blank agency. A. Universal. 32. What would you call a situation where I represent the seller as my client, but then work in the best interest of the buyer, my customer? D. Dual agency undisclosed. 33. If I represent the buyer as a broker, this would be called C. Buyer's broker. 34. I owe all of the fiduciary obligations to my client or to my customer. D. Client. 35. I work blank the client and blank the customer. A. For, with. 36. What does fiduciary mean? C. Position of trust. 37. The fiduciary obligations accrue only to my blank. D. Client. 38. So what do I owe to the customer? B. honesty and fairness. 39. If it is my intention to protect my client, usually the seller, from the vicarious liability of another license violating the laws of licensure, should I always give out my listings to other licenses as broker agents or sub-agents? C. Broker agents. 40. If I shared the listing on a property with your broker and give you the opportunity to make the sale, your broker just became my C. Sub-agent. 41. If one broker is representing both the purchaser and the seller in the same transaction, excuse me, you will call this a dual agency. 42. What is the Department of State concern when a real estate license embarks upon the practice of writing mortgage applications as a mortgage rep? They are concerned about when B. Possibility of dual agency. 43. I will hire you to sell my house. You are my broker, and I am your C. Client or principal. All right, this is the questions, and we're going into easements and liens. 44. Easements and liens. 44. It has been long standing that my driveway crosses over my neighbor's property. You will call that a easement opportunity. 45. In the question above, which estate is dominant, mine or my neighbor's? B. Mine. 46. So what would you call my neighbor's estate? C. Servient. 47. What is it called if a utility company has an easement over many properties? A. Utility easement, easement in gross. 48. If someone uses the property of another in a way that is open and notorious, exclusive and adverse to the best interests of the true owner, you would call B. Squatter rights. 49. What are two other names for the situation in the question above? A. Easement by prescription, adverse possession. All right, this is questions number 50. 50. For how many years would you have to have use of that person's property to make a claim of ownership? D. 10 years. 51. If a person has the blank to cross over your property, it's a B. Right easement. 52. If a thing is crossing over your property line, that's an A. Encroachment. Okay, 53. If you buy materials from a supply house and fail to pay them, they can file. That's A. Mechanic's lien. 54. We talked about a formal legal description, an FLD. What is one example of a formal legal description? D. Section, block, and lot number, mates and bound description. 55. Which description would not be a formal legal description? D. A street address and street name. 56. Who determines what the real estate commission will be on a particular deal? D. Client and broker. 57. If someone dies without having a valid will, he died. B. Intestate. 58. If someone dies without having a valid will and the state cannot locate any heirs or creditors, that person's property reverts to the state through a process called C. Escheat. 59. What is the name of the standardized closing statement or settlement statement required by RESPA 1974 called A. HUD 1. 60. What is a synonym for proration? A. Adjustment. 61. What's the name of the deed which gives the most legal promises, covenants, and warranties to the buyer? B. Full covenant and warranty deed. 62. What is it called if I track back the successive owners of a piece of real estate, starting with the current deed and working my way backwards in time? B. Chain of title. 63. Deed is a blank. A.
conveys a grantor's interest in real property. 64. Generally speaking, who creates the real estate contract of sale? B. Seller's attorney. 65. Who signs the contract first? D. Buyer. 66. What does the buyer attach to the contract after signing it? The answer will be A. Earnest money down payments. 67. Who holds the earnest deposit money from the buyer from signing of the contract until closing? The answer is B. Seller's attorney, escrow. All right, hold on. 68. Who signs the contract last? D. The seller. 69. Estates and interests. 69. The fullest interest I can have in my ownership of real estate is called having a blank interest. C. Fee simple. 70. Unlike residential leases, where if you add a fixture such as a ceiling lamp, it becomes part of the real property. In a commercial environment, it's understood that if you add cabinets, refrigerator units, etc., that they are leaving when the lease is over. Would you call these blank A trade fixtures? 71. Tenants in common are characterized by B, rights of inheritance. 72. Joint tenants are characterized by A, survivorship. 73. In New York State, husband and wife take ownership as A, tenants by entirety. 74. What would you call it when one person buys a property all by him or herself? D. Severalty ownership. Land use regulations. 75. What would you call the power of the government to acquire personally held real property for the benefit of the public? A. Eminent domain condemnation. 76. A zoning ordinance would not require C material. 77. When I go to the building department and I want to put an extension on the house or modify something, I'm making an application for an A building permit. 78. If I'm turned down because my application doesn't meet the letter of the building code, I'm going to make an appeal to the B Zoning Board of Appeal. 79. And if the Zoning Board of Appeal approves my application, I'm going to be granted a variance. Construction basics and environmental issues and property concerns. 80. Roof rafters are blank in orientation and establish the pitch or the blank roof. B. Diagonal slope. 81. What are the vertical wooden members inside the walls? B. Studs. 82. Circuit breakers and blank both serve the same function. They are overcurrent protection devices. A. Fuses. 83. What is put on the outside of the studs to begin to weatherproof the house? B. Sheathing. 84. A is for amps. A for the blank of current available in a structure. That's B amount. 85. What is the minimum amperage for new construction in New York State? The answer is A, 100A. 86. Voltage is the blank or blank of the current in a particular electrical circuit. D, pressure or force. 87. What is the standard voltage in the United States? The answer is B, 110 volts. 88. What is the R factor? A, resistance to heat transfer. 89. The lower part of the roof, which includes the soffit and the fascia, is called the blank or blank. A, eaves or overhang. 90. Bent pieces of metal that serve to waterproof a house are called D, flushing. 91. You would call a BTU, British thermal unit, a measure of A, heat energy. 92. What is the name of the refrigerant that was destroying the ozone layer of the atmosphere? the layer that protects us from the ultraviolet rays of the sun, which give us skin cancer. C, Freon. 93. What is the law that regulates CFSs, Freon? It's A, the Clean Air Act. 94. What would you call the first wooden member to be laid down on the foundation wall? It serves to connect the concrete foundation of the floor to the flooring system of the house. It's the blank. C, sill plate. 95. When I build a house, I'm going to have an architectural rendering of it. What is that called? B, a blueprint. 96. And I'm going to spell out how it is to be built along the lines of the blueprints. What is that called? B, specifications. 97. What material was used for insulating heating pipes, a naturally occurring mineral fiber now banned from use because it is a carcinogen, cancer-causing? A, asbestos. 98. What is the name of a colorless, odorless, radioactive gas that is a byproduct of uranium in the soil? And the answer is B, radon. Percolation rate is the rate of A, water movement through soil. The valuation process and pricing properties. 100. A CMA, comparative market analysis, is not an A, appraisal. 101. An estimation of how much a property will sell for in a typical transaction is the blank, A, market value. 102. The lowest price a seller will take, the highest price a buyer will pay is called the blank, B, market value. 103. An apartment building has a heating system which, although is in good repair, does not meet the needs of its current tenants. This is an example of C, functional obsolescence. Which term best identifies the most probable price for which specified property rights should sell to a knowledgeable buyer in a competitive market? Question 104 is B, market value. Figure that one out yourself, guys. 105. What is a study of recently sold properties, currently competing listings, monthly expired listings, buyer appeal market position, assets and drawbacks, area market conditions, recommended terms, and market value range? A, CMA. Cut. I don't know. Human rights and fair housing. 106. What do you call people who get into real estate offices to make sure that all people are being treated the same way? B, testers. 107. If I have a disabled tenant who wants to make a modification, what do I do? A, tell them they can at their own expense and put back as original. 108. What was the year of the first major federal fair housing legislation? A, 1866. 109. What was the one protected class in that piece of legislation? B, race. 110. What was the year of the first major legislation to directly affect property ownership rights? C, 1866. 111. What will be an exception to the discrimination laws? A, a person renting out rooms in their own house, which they actually live in, to members of the same sex. 112. What was the year of the second major piece of federal housing legislation? C, 1968. 113. What classes were protected under that legislation? B, race, religion, national origin. 114. In 1974, there was an amendment. What class was added? A, sex, gender. 115. In 1988, there was an amendment. What class was added? A, disability and familial status. 116. I'm taking green customers only to green people's neighborhoods. What is this called? C, steering. 117. I'm going into a neighborhood and including panic selling. What is this called? A. Blockbusting. 118. A banker decides not to lend in a community because of the infusion of the people of a particular race, religion, or nationality. What is this called? B. Redlining. 119. What is exempt from federal fair housing laws? D. None. There are never any exceptions from fair housing based on C. Race. 121. Solicitation of a sales or lease of property due to a change in the ethnic structure of a neighborhood is a blank. A. Blockbusting. 122. What is the age of majority in New York State? In other words, the minimum age to enter into a contract. A. 18. 123. If you were to sell your house to someone under the age of 18, how would you characterize the contract of sale? B. Voidable by minor. Question 124. What is the name of the regulation that requires the lead paint disclosure? The answer is D. Regulation X. 125. I have to give the Protect Your Family from Lead Paint in Your Home and the lead paint disclosure form to prospective tenants and buyers if the building was constructed prior to what year? The answer is C. 1978. 126. Sometimes a condo association will reserve the right to be the first buyer if you decide to sell. You would call this a blank. The answer is A. Right of first refusal. 127. I'm going to rent an apartment for you for 1 week. What type of leasehold estate is this? The answer is D. Estate for years. 128. Co-op ownership is what type of an estate? The answer is A. Leasehold. 129. How would you best describe one's interest in a co-op unit? The answer is B. Leasehold. Cut. Question 130. A mortgage that covers and includes more than a single property is called a blank. The answer is D. Blanket mortgage. 131. A mortgage that finances both the real property and the personal property is called a blank mortgage. The answer is B. Package mortgage. 132. What would you call a loan that allows you to move from one property to another? For instance, you find a house you really want to buy, but your first house isn't sold, so you use this type of loan to make the jump. The answer is A. 133. What would you call a financing situation where the buyer receives financial assistance with the down payment and closing costs, and in exchange gives up some share of the equity buildup in the property? The answer is A. Shared equity loan. 134. There is a type of mortgage where the payment increases as your ability to pay more improves. For instance, for someone who doesn't have much income but has great income potential, for instance, someone just graduating from law school or medical school, this is a blank. D. Graduated mortgage payments. 135. When money is plentiful, what happens to interest rates? The answer is B. Rates lower. 136. A transaction that involves the sale of a property to free up the liquid assets that trap in the real estate and lease of that same property is called a blank. The answer is A. Sale leaseback. And now question 137. You would call the borrower blank, and that would be an A. Mortgager. 138. You would call the lender the blank. The answer would be D. mortgagee. 139. What is the definition of a wraparound mortgage? The answer is B, a second mortgage. Question 140. What is the act of charging interest that is over the legal limit? And that would be B, usury. 141. What regulates the advertising of consumer loans or the term of lending? The answer is A, Regulation Z. 142. A straight-term mortgage consists of payment that include blank only. And the answer is C, interest. Municipal agencies and property insurance. 143. Which named peril is not covered on an HO policy, homeowner, or a DP policy, dwelling policy? And the answer is B, flood. 144. From the question above, from whom do you purchase that insurance? The answer is A, FEMA. 145. If I want higher limits of liability insurance on my house and cars, I will buy a blank policy. The answer is A, umbrella. 146. If I were a renter, in order to protect my stuff and also give me liability insurance, I will buy a blank policy. The answer is D, HO4 policy. 147. Which is the lien of highest priority? The answer is A, real property taxes. 148. What does the municipal engineer's office do? And the answer is A, plans, design, constructs public works and utilities. 149. What governmental authority oversees our fresh water drinking supply? The answer is D, Department of Health. 150. Does the building department write the building code or enforce it? The answer is B, enforces it. 151. What governmental agency oversees how the community is developed? The answer is B, Planning Board. 152. Homeowner policies which provide content coverage for apartment owners is the blank. The answer is A, HO1.
Passing the New York State real estate exam is the first step in starting your real estate career. With the right preparation, focus, and support, you'll be more than ready on exam day. If you need any extra tips, feel free to reach out to me. Good luck on your exam and all the best in your real estate career.